All right, guys, number one, it says Justin has 10 feet of rope. He needs to cut the rope into equal pieces for a science project. Each piece must be 3.5 feet long. How many pieces of rope will he be able to cut? So my important information is that there's 10 feet of rope. He needs to cut equal pieces of 3.5 feet each. And the question is, how many pieces can he make? So I'm going to draw this out. So here's my rope. And my rope is 10 feet long. And he needs to cut equal pieces of 3.5 feet. So he needs to cut pieces of 3.5. And the question is, how many pieces can he cut? Okay, so I'm cutting off multiple times. Remember, division is the same thing as repeated subtraction. So it's going to be cutting them off over and over and over again. So let's make a prediction. I have 10, and I'm going to divide it by 3.5. Let's round that to something. Let's round that to, let's say, about 3. And so 10 divided by 3, that's going to be like 3.5-ish, right? Actually, be like 3 1/3. So 10 divided by 3 is going to be about 3 and then some extra. So my answer should be about 3 pieces. He should be making about 3 pieces for my prediction. All right, now let's work this out. All right, before we get started, we have 3 divided by 3.5 divided by 10, or I'm sorry, 10 divided by 3.5. So we're going to move our decimal over one spot. My decimal is right here. I'm going to move it over one spot. And so now I'm going to rewrite this problem as, I'm going to rewrite it over here. We're going to say this is the same thing as 35 divided by, 35 and then 100 for my dividend. So 100 divided by 35 is how I would say this. So you're going to move your decimal over and then write it over again. So my decimal goes here at the end, then it goes here on top. All right, 35 goes into 1 0 times, 35 goes into 10 0 times, and then 35 will go into 100, I believe 3 times, which will be 95. 100 minus 95 is 5. I bring an extra 0 down. And 35 can go into 50 one time. So my answer is going to be about 3.1, which means he can make about 3 cuts, which is what our prediction was. So my answer is going to be 3 for number 1. All right, number 7. Cindy bought 40.5 yards of blue fabric at the discount fabric store. She wants to make shirts for her 4 best friends and herself to wear to a concert in the park. Each shirt requires 4.75 yards of fabric. Will Cindy have enough fabric? So a lot of information here. First thing, she bought 40.5 yards of blue fabric. She wants to make 5 shirts because it says 4 best friends and herself. So that she wants to make 5 shirts for 5 people. One shirt is 4.75 yards. So does she have enough? All right, for my strategy, it says each shirt needs 4.75 yards each. And so the question is, will she have enough? It says she has 40 and a half yards of fabric. Each shirt needs 4.5. So let's make a prediction. I have 5 shirts. And then if I multiply that, I'm going to round this 4.75 to 5. I'm going to round it to 5. So I predict she will need 25 yards of fabric. And says that she has 40 yards to begin with, so the answer will probably be yes, she will have enough. Okay, so then for my work, I multiplied 4 and 4.75 times 5, and I got 23.75, and she needed 40.5 yards, so yes, she had enough fabric to make all of her shirts. All right, so number 8, a science workbook is 0.75 inches thick. How many workbooks will fit on a 2-foot shelf? So one book is almost 1 inch, and the shelf is 2 feet. So you notice here we have inches and feet, so I got to make this into inches. So I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, so I need to figure out there are going to be 24 inches in 12 feet, because 12 inches makes 1 foot. Okay? So now next let's make a strategy. Okay, so for my strategy, I drew a bookshelf. This is my bookshelf, the rectangle, and I said my bookshelf is 24 inches tall, and one little book is 75 hundredths of an inch tall. So the question is, how many books can fit on the shelf? So let's make a prediction. I have 24 inches of the bookshelf, and I'm going to divide that to see how many will fit by 75 hundredths. So let's round that up to 1. And let's say my answer, so one book is about 1 inch, and so I can fit about 24 books. So my answer, well, sorry, off the page. My answer should be about 24. All right, then we're going to work it out by dividing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to divide these two numbers. Remember, we need to move our decimal behind the ones place in the divisor. So here's my decimal here. Move it 2 spaces over. Add some zeros. So let me rewrite this, and I'm going to rewrite this as 2,400 with a decimal divided by 75. Okay, so now we're going to divide this. Okay, so after dividing, I said that 75 cannot go into 75 can go into 2 0 times. 75 can go into 24 0 times. And so 25 goes into 243 times. 75 times 3 is 225. I subtracted and I had 150. And then 75 times 2 is also 150. So my answer is 32 books will fit on the shelf. And that's pretty close to my prediction, which was 24. All right, for number 9, it says that Lisa was her 3 friends are gonna split her meal. So it says Lisa's meal costs $14.75, and these 3 people are gonna split it. So if you're gonna split it, that means you're gonna share it, and so they're gonna divide it by 3, because the 3 of them are gonna share the meal. So basically, I'm dividing these 2 numbers right here. Okay, for my drawing, here's her meal. Her meal was $14.75, and 3 people are gonna share it. Okay, so that means I'm gonna divide. Let's make a prediction first. Let's round her meal to $15, and let's divide it by 3. So that means each person will pay about $5 since we rounded to 15. All right, so to work it out, we're actually going to divide it. So $14.75 divided by 3. 3 goes into 1 0 times. 3 goes into 14 4 times for 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. Be sure to put your decimal up in your answer. And 3 can go into 27 9 times for 27. Okay, and then we're going to bring our 5 down. 3 will go into 5 1 time, and then that'll be my answer right there. So my answer was $4.91.